Double NKH here, and welcome back to the land of never-ending projects, random adventures, and more. Today, we're gonna take a look at the 1971 Chevelle that you might remember did a few videos on this. And oh, look at that, the shine juice seems to be holding up pretty good, keeping the rust away. But in this one, we're gonna try to get the front end jacked up a little bit, install a full new exhaust system, which Joe over at Pipes Performance Exhaust sent me this. Nice stainless steel system, and I'm pretty stoked to see how this sounds, because that 396, well, it's a little rowdy with the straight pipes on it right now, and it gets to your head a little bit. I hear Gus barking over here. Let's let him in. What are you barking at, huh? You want to go in? Okay, all right. What's the magic word? Oh, all right. Anyway, the best way to get started is to get started. Doesn't matter what time it is, what day it is, how the weather is, just dive in. And then, you know, if you get halfway there, you get it figured out. You guys might notice I took your advice. I saw quite a few comments about laying a impermeable layer down on the ground, because, you know, the moisture's always wicking up from the ground, cause this car to rot out. This thing does a pretty good job. I mean, it's holding up. I think it's a few years old now. It's kind of cool. You can open both sides up. I've showed it before. I don't think it's got but more than another year or two. I don't think it'll make another winter. Now, these guys did make it through the winter. Check it out. The honeybees are alive and well. And for a while, I had some robbing bees coming in. You could tell they were much bigger. But now, you know, Colony seems to be doing awesome, which is good to see, because then we can get some honey this year. I got to put the super on, is what I got to do. I'm like the worst beekeeper ever. I used to be more into the hobby, and then I kind of started slacking. So I just let them be and do their thing. Little cold-blooded. Now here's going to be a before. I'll show you the after to get that 3-inch. The reason I got to bring the front end up so much is it looks dopey down that low, in my opinion, and also the collectors scrape every time I go out the driveway. I just think, I don't think it's a good look way down low. I'm looking for more of a factory look, honestly. Let's tackle this first issue with some new springs. We are 23 7/8 up to the fender, and 24 1/2 on the driver's side. Now, wow, back, a guy actually hooked me up with these. Local dude said he had these for his A body, and they were front springs for a big block. I don't remember, I think he might have said they were lowering springs, but I mean, we could try those, see what it does, and if not, order a $100 set of springs. You guys might notice we got the jet ski engine out, replacing the leaking carrier bearing and seals, and a few other items on that. Well, here's how we're looking. These springs, you can tell just by glancing at them, way thicker. So those must be rated for a small block. And I think that'll cure our issue. You can see still got the wood block battery hold down. I mean, that ain't going nowhere, but got it on the sway bar. And we're looking pretty. We'll get this all out of here. And a glance at the frame, how it's holding up, nice and solid. You know, just for the guys that said it was gonna rot out within a year, parked on the ground. On these rusty long tubes, you can see where it was scraping on the driveway, cutting right through. Oh, look at that. That's why it was misfiring. Plug wire fell off. Yeah. Yeah, sure. All right. All right, we are back here at it. 9:30 at night now. Went and looked at a couple properties for sale, and then the Travis B stopped over. You guys may have seen his channel before. He's out in Tucson, does a lot of automotive videos. So had a good time hanging out, and now let's get these springs in. Here's a side-by-side of the old springs, much taller, and I did find a part number on these. They're Hotchkiss, and they're rated to be a 1-inch drop with the big block and aluminum heads from what I found. So let's toss it in, see what it looks like. They're actually kind of pricey springs, $280 for a set. When they hit the inside of this with some surface shield, because it's my favorite stuff. And, you know, kind of a hard to reach area. Oh yeah. A little easier to put these in because they're not so long. Bouncy with no shocks, but how are we looking? I'm still sitting lower than what I would like, but that looks like it did come up some. Let's see. Oh, 25.5. So yeah, that's great. We went from 23 7/8 to 25.5 and 26 on the driver's side, which is probably just because I had that massive truck battery over there. But yeah, I'm good with that. So thank you very much to the guy that dropped those springs off over at KP Tuning, Carl over there. He was actually gonna toss them. He didn't know who dropped them off. And they were sitting there for like a month. And luckily I made it over there in time because they were getting ready to go in the dumpster. So put back to good use. They're basically brand new springs too. Got new springs in the rear, new in the front. Very nice. Next on the list is the exhaust. Flex pipes. Look at that. You ever see an exhaust swing down in such a manner? See, this is all rotted out, and these flex pipes are nice until that happens. Here's the pipe's exhaust all laid out. See, it's got an X pipe and some straight pipe dumps on it. Joe actually hooked me up with some electronic valves and a bunch of clamps and all this so I can get that slung up there. Now the only problem is I do have these polished stainless collector adapters for the long tubes, but these are a different bolt pattern, a little too small. This is like a huge opening on these. That's got to be 3.5 inch. Yeah, just about. It's all right. I'm sure we can make something work, and worst case, just cut these off and adapt. It's been a few hours last night fiddling with these pipes and getting the fitting it good. just about there. On the headers, there is a wider space than needs to be, so I'll just Mickey Mouse something together. I cut the collectors, the 3.5 collector flanges off the old exhaust, and I'll just fab that in. If these were a little bit longer, I could extend that out, and then it would work. So maybe, you know, extending is an option too. But otherwise, everything is looking pretty good. It's handy to have some straps and a jack if you're doing this on a lift or on the ground, but they had the factory style hangers, which are stainless steel, seem pretty good quality. Now, the one issue I did run into is this left side over axle pipe. I can't get it to not just barely kiss on there, so I'll have to make some adjustments at some point, but that's really as best I could get it on this side. Didn't have that issue at all, so I don't know what's going on with that pipe. Not a big deal though. Let's get this welded and see how it sounds. And there's the final product. Looks like I dabbed chicken turds on there, but it'll hold. I was able to use just the one short pipe, so I welded these little seams on it too. And I'm probably gonna replace these rusty headers at some point in the future. You know, if and when, it'll be easy. I get new collectors and no issue. But otherwise, everything is good, and we're ready to give it a listen. I did get this clearanced, so it's not hitting frame. Still got a little bit of a leak up on the manifolds or the collector, but otherwise sounds good. I like it. Now these could be cut a little bit shorter, and this side actually sticks out just a touch more, but that's no big deal because I actually have these stainless ends to go on to. Now unfortunately I'm listening on under here, and now that it's a little bit quieter, I hear just these exhaust headers are rotted through, unfortunately, so I gotta get a set. Yeah, it's on the driver's side. It feels like I gotta watch my hand. The torque converter covers off, but it feels like right on the top of here. You guys probably can't even hear me over it. But otherwise, I mean, I'm loving the way it sounds. And this is their Street Pro right there. So sound 7.5, classic muscle, I would agree. Of course, if you wanted to go quiet, you could go Turbo Pro, Race Pro, or you get the Violator. Oh yeah, there it is. Try and get you guys a view. It's just that valley, so all the water was sitting there, and yeah, it rusted through. I think we'll just get some new headers on order, but as a temporary patch, maybe we can slap some of that exhaust putty on there and wrap it around. Actually, you know what else will fix this? Tin foil. Since it's in the valley, we can stuff it in there and then throw a couple hose clamps. Now the first layer is a triangulated stuffer in there, nice and tight, and a pack tight stuffer. Combine that with my lucky copper heatsink block, and then a 4-inch exhaust strap to clamp it all down. Hope I don't lose my lucky copper block, but yeah, pinch that down. I think we'll be good. There we go. It ain't going nowhere. No more leak. So far, way better than the straight pipes and what was on there before. Not loud at all in here at this speed, and sounds rowdy outside. I gotta say, I do not like this reverse valve body automatic. I mean, it shifts so hard. Like race car status, absolutely, but for just driving around, not great. Well, I just stopped at the parts store because one thing, I forget if I mentioned or not, but this fuel tank ended up getting a pinhole in the bottom. So I dabbed a little of that tank sealant with some tin foil on it. That sealed it to take the ride over here, and then I grabbed some of the field resistant tank welds, epoxy, smeared it on there. That'll get us by for now, so I can burn this full tank of gas out. And I tell you, it's just a perfect day for cruising. On a 90-degree day, no AC, this thing's pretty miserable to drive with the big old rust holes. That heat from the exhaust is just blowing up my pant leg. This thing needs some different gearing. I mean, this is your cruise. Quick thank you to Sundays for Dogs for sponsoring this video.
I hate this dog food, if you can even call it that. Wish my parents would get me some of that fresh, easy to store dog food I heard about called Sundays for Dogs. Oh yes, that's the one I was talking about.
Sundays is a fresh and, more importantly, healthy dog food made from a short list of human-grade ingredients. It contains 90% meat, 10% vegetables, and 0% synthetic nutrients. Since switching Gus to Sundays, we've noticed many health improvements like softer fur, fresher breath, better poops, and way more energy. We love knowing that we're feeding Gus the best quality food, and he also loves it so much. Sundays conveniently ships right to your door, so you'll never have to worry about running out for dog food again. Unlike other fresh dog food, Sundays does not require refrigeration or preparation because of their air drying process. Just pour and serve. If you want to see for yourself the benefits of switching to Sundays and receive 50% off your first order, then go to sundaysfordogs.com/NNKH or just use code NNKH at checkout. Your dog will not be disappointed. Thank you, Sundays, for sponsoring this video, and now let's dive back into it. Coming through Washington Crossing. This is where George Washington crossed the river on Christmas, 1776. The pivotal battle of the Revolutionary War. Coming over the mini bridge. They're actually talking about getting rid of this bridge, too. I think I might go for a swim, actually. Oh, look at that, parked with these Corvette guys. So, big fan of the way the exhaust sounds. Yes, I'll probably add the tips and cut them to proper length. The springs up front, perfect. You know, I think that's actually sitting as best as you could ask for. I'm definitely gonna get the 8-inch wheels for the back because these beauty dishes don't even fit the 7 inches I put on there, and they do look a little skimpy, so I think we'll need to get some wider tires, get that stance looking proper. But yeah, just slowly but surely improving this thing, and manual transmission is absolutely next. I cannot drive it the way it is. It just kills me. Let's see if he's doing it right. Yup, got the Manny tranny. Beautiful Stingray, also with the manual transmission. Well, sometimes I got like trick little kits in there that make it look like it's manual, but it's not. Gotta look for the clutch pedal, you know. Oh, what are we leaking? That's cool, man. Why is that coming out? Oh, that's the heater core. Think about ditching this whole AC box anyway. This is never getting AC, and it's just so tight up against the engine. Refreshing. The Delaware River is about 85 degrees right now. The nice thing about having a junky old car is you can hop in sopping wet. Carpets to worry about. I got floor drains. These seats, I can take a little water. Boy, do I love beater cars. Just ran into this guy. You got a channel too, right?
Yeah. This is Felix
comment down below, but he's never been in the big block Chevelle, so I figure
That was great.
oh, I got all those parts rattling around back there.
We're gonna do a shot from the outside.
Ooh, I don't know what that noise was. Hey,
Right, good
luck,
dude.
that heater core is officially blowing even more now. Floor's all wet. These mufflers, after driving for an hour, they rally your head, especially sitting there idling. It's like so much bass. Of course, we have no interior, no carpet, nothing to soak up the sound, so there's that. But oh, I know what I gotta do. Gotta go check on the rollback. Yes, the K30. You guys might remember a hose blew out on this when we were trying to put a tow truck on it that was way too big for it. So my buddy Nick came over, pulled that hose off, and look at this. Oh, he did a great job. Looks awesome. He didn't kick it out or try it out yet, but he cut out all the old steel tubes that somebody had left in there, all the rotten stuff. And boy, this is great. You know, hire somebody to do a job, come over, it's done. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, sounds healthy. Actually did recently put this truck up for sale for $11,000, and some of you guys might think that's way too much, but I wouldn't part with it for less. I do want to get a rollback with a 20-foot bed. This 17 is just, it's not enough, but kind of torn on selling it still. I'm not even, if somebody offered me 11, I might still be like, I don't know, change my mind. Got our slide back. Gonna have to top the fluid off though, but I just dropped down the starter, and I don't know if you guys heard it when we were driving, but it screeched a couple times. It's because it had two wires going over to the start terminal, and one is for the factory ignition, and I guess maybe some wires are still rocking around up there, and it was causing it to briefly engage. The other is just to the starter button. So I'll ditch the extra one. And the scraping sparks was just this collector hitting again. You know, these headers, if I was keeping them, you'd want to heat this cherry red and bend it up because they're just hanging way too low. But you can see whenever they made them, like this collector is in the proper position, and this one, you know, it has the triangulated end down, which is not what you want. Then it's hanging down real low. Like you see, even on these outlets, they have it so that the flat part is toward the ground now. I'm gonna leave the electronic valves off for now. I don't think we need them. This sounds perfect the way it is. I've relocated these rear mounts further up. I did have some trouble fitting those, but now we're gonna throw the tips on. Broken stainless steel self-tapper will do it. Yeah, that looks a whole heck of a lot better with those stainless steel tips. Just bypassed the heater core, took care of the starter wiring. And the last thing I gotta do today is fix the floor, because driving in this intense heat, it's like 98 degrees today with no AC. I mean, it's fine. You know, they ditched the wing windows. I don't like that, but the heat blowing up from the exhaust. Now we gotta take care of that. So I think I've got just the idea. Seems to be a popular upgrade with automotive enthusiasts, and that is some license plates, which I collect. Like here's the 1978 Lincoln Continental from the Philly yard. It's a good one. I usually write where I found the plates. Try not to use like my mom's old plate or something, you know. Mom's 99 Taurus. Brett found in Pines. Okay, that's good. Get rid of that one. A 74 Gran Torino. No, that's definitely sentimental. That was an awesome trip from Vegas. We did. Found on Pennsylvania Avenue, Texas. That's a beat up one. You see that's been ran over quite a few times. And I get it. This is not the kind of restoration that most of you would like to see on this beautiful Chevelle, really. But I'm more of a rat rod kind of guy, so I'll just keep this thing bare bones as it is until maybe I run into a different Chevelle in the future that tickles my fancy more, and then swap this one out, because really this is worthy of a restoration. Not gonna happen for me though. I'm just gonna drive it, beat it, and keep it working. Don't worry, you guys. One day this floor will get done properly. We're just preserving it. That ought to keep the temperatures down a little bit in here. So we made some good progress making this a better daily driver. I'll get those rear wheels, tires, and a gas tank on order. If anybody watching, you know, has a body that's a manual trans and looking to go automatic, and want turbo 400 and associated parts, let me know. This one operates, and you get that reverse race valve body. If you're local and have manual trans stuff for this, shoot me a message. At this point in the video, I'm gonna switch it over to a little scrap run I did over in Trenton, and then an update on the Ram. And I'm actually taking the airboat out today for a little spin since it's so hot, and I'll put that footage at the end. Let's get going. I am a scrapper for life. Is scrapping still worth it? June 2024 edition. I got this junk pile here. Let's find out what it's worth. A lot of this stuff is just from vehicles I worked on, or also stuff I found in the river. Like anytime I'm out on the boat, if I see a sharp piece of metal or anything rusty, I grab it and bring it with me to clean up and to make a little jingling. And I'll probably keep at least maybe like 5 or 6 brake rotors. You never know when you'll need a brake rotor. Some of this stuff like that angle iron will keep that. Definitely keeping that davit, I think it's called, in the I-beam. Some aluminum rims, a couple cats off the Lincoln. These 70s cats, these are full, but I don't know what they're gonna give me for these, because I had posted them online and a couple scrap dealers were like, those aren't worth much of anything when they saw the codes. So I'll be curious to see about that. Got my rad and some more rads over here. So let's get this stuff loaded up. I have these little heater cores from the Mercedes Ponton. One of the most time-consuming part of scrapping is prepping all your metal. You know, like with the brass and the aluminum, you gotta get the metal, the steel off of there. That's a pretty good little load. And a little tip that I've found is scrap your huge batteries and your small batteries, and then keep the medium-sized ones for cores at the auto parts store, because it doesn't matter what size the battery is, unless it's a motorcycle battery, they don't give you a core. But if it's a regular 51R, they'll give you a full core price for that. You can actually go in and use that for a voucher to just buy whatever parts too. But if you roll in with like 10 batteries, I don't think they're gonna take that and give you cores on all of them. But they're essentially worth more in core value at the store than at the scrapyard. Usually only like $7 a piece. Guess we'll see today. Depends on what lead is, right? scrapping the trash there. Now, I remember scrapping, doing the trash runs back in the day, and I wouldn't pass a broomstick sticking out of a trash can. Sometimes you stop at a broomstick and there'd be some other gold in there, you know? I mean, trash runs were good for an easy 100 to 150 bucks a day. You go out, you spend 2-3 hours driving around looking at people's trash, getting the metal out, easy money. Well, I shouldn't say easy money, hard money, very hard money. What the heck, being that it's trash night, let's do a little loop through the neighborhood here, see if we can find something. It's only 3 o'clock, so probably not gonna be much yet. Gotta wait till people get home from work. We got an umbrella, woo! Big money, steel post. I'm sorry, aluminum post. See, so the best thing would be to split this all up, get the aluminum and then the metal rods, but we'll just scrap it as light iron. Light iron being basically anything that has a little bit of metal in it. Even dishwashers they'll take, which are pretty much all plastic, but they throw them through the shredder, grind them up, take the ferrous metal out, the non-ferrous with an eddy current separator, I think they use, and yeah. I think that's enough neighborhood scrapping. It's not late enough. You gotta come out like 7, 8 p.m. Wait a second. Oh, see, that's a recliner. A lot of good steel in a recliner, but you gotta sit there and hack it apart. And I've seen people do that, but I don't think that's polite. You know, they're gonna be like, "What are you doing? Making a huge mess." It's like those people that if you put a CRT TV out, they'll smash it to bits and pieces just to get that coil out of the back, make a big mess. Not cool. And we have a 5th gear again. Look at that. I'll drop a couple clips at the end to show what I ended up settling on to fix the 5th gear not backing off. Yes, Alpha Shredding Group. This used to be Trenton Iron. It's a great place. I'm gonna hit the metals room first, drop all my precious, and then do cast, and then light iron. Get the Home Depot carts. Still got the mini docks in here.
Do you have a business license?
No. Oh. Well, the only thing they wouldn't take is these cats. They recently changed their policy where they'll only buy them off a automotive business.
If I was an a-hole, I'd rob you. Because you said cast and light.
Yeah.
Rotors is 25 cents more than cast. Number one's $1 more per 100 than light. Alright?
Alright.
So when you go on scale, you see the rotor drum box?
Yep.
You'll go right there and you'll do the rotor drum. You go on a scale. You'll go back over on that corner. You'll put the steel on the ground. But any of the car struts, you'll put in the box for us.
I guess we're getting heavy iron for the umbrella. Not bad. And we just wait and drop all the rotors in here. They're always switching things up here. Way out again, wait for the buzzer. trailer looks like it's seen better days, huh?
Yeah, I hit a concrete barrier on that side.
Oh,
It just bent a little.
gotcha.
Once I get it cleaned off, we'll cut it, straighten it out, and weld it back.
Heck yeah, man. And on this final way out, we get to see how much my Ram weighs. If I look back, we are 8,700 pounds. I guess I could have just waited till I got the slip too, huh? We totaled out at 112 on the steel, 127 on the precious metal. Just gotta get paid and then go over what else is on here. Woo! Easy money. Man, there's a line to get in now. I came at the right time because there was zero line there. Whew. These guys are over here processing. Got the chair set up. Let's see if this guy's all right. He was here before. You all good? I seen you sitting here before.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on my tow truck drive. He went to, I went to get something to eat, then he shows up. So now that I'm back, he went to get something to eat.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so
What happened? Won't start or?
fuel pump,
Oh, okay. Did you try hitting it with a hammer?
did all that.
Yeah.
Jumped on the back of it, went up underneath, hit it.
You want to try cranking it while I hit it?
Yeah.
You can tell you're a scrapper when the tailgate looks like that.
Yeah. This is about
Here, I got a mallet I'll get. I got a good mallet for that. You sure it's got fuel, right?
Yeah, I just put 4 gallons in with the gas can. I had
Okay.
2 trips. This is where I'm at with her.
All right. And did you check that it was getting power and such? Yeah? All right. There's one more thing I wanted to give a try. I got this jump pack. I've had fuel pumps. This has 15 volts. If you hook this up, sometimes it just gives that pump that, because it's a dead spot in the pump, you know, and it gives it extra.
Really?
Yeah, you want to give it one quick go? Yeah. Pump good.
I said, all the guys, the stuff that you was doing, get up underneath the bang it. Like, and then it's like, well,
That's the old trick in the book.
Yeah, I said, hell, I just set my grandson over. That's why, you know, I said, well, I was like, ain't no need for you to stand out here and sweat. Let your uncle just go ahead and do like I normally do if I was by myself and this happened any goddamn way.
Yeah. Give it one more quick crank now. Let's just see. Because that thing's got 15 volts. You'll hear it when it cranks. It's much stronger. See the difference? Oh, it sounded like it wanted to go, huh?
It wants to.
Yeah. Give it a go again. Ah, darn. Yeah. Well, good luck, man.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I'm back home just taking a look at these scrap receipts, and you can see they now pay in gross tons, which not a fan of that. The gross ton is 2,240 pounds. So if you run the math on that, I think on rotors and drums, it came out to like 11.4 cents a pound. So remember he said in the beginning, I'm gonna hook you up and separate these so you get way more money. The difference is probably only like $4 or something like that. But anyway, not bad. We got $61 on the rotors, 50 on the unprepared number 1. Cast aluminum, we had 38 pounds at 60 cents a pound, $22.80. The aluminum radiator got $3.85. Wow, that was like nothing for that. That had copper core inside of it. But the auto brass radiators, we got $2 a pound, so $62. Electric motors, $3.63. Copper number 2 barely had any, $3.30, 1 pound. And car batteries, $31. So that wasn't bad because there was only 3 batteries and then the 1 motorcycle battery. So roughly $10 a battery. Not a bad haul for the day. I'm gonna jump to that clip, show you what we did with the 5th gear now. I ended the clapper video, talked about what I was gonna do, and so here's what I ended up with. Reusing the 5th gear and the factory partially splined shaft. I took that off, cleaned it all up, and then hit it up with some of this 690 high strength retaining compound. Put it into place. We got the new nut, which has 2 holes for the brass plug and set screws. You can see those set screws. We got the the concave washer that goes in place, and then I slopped up the threads with red Loctite, hammered this into place as hard as I could with an impact air chisel and hand chisel. You can see it's pretty beat up. I also did put some copper anti-seize on this. That way we got great torque on that nut, because what I found is you're never going to keep this fifth gear from wiggling around and moving back and forth. It's going to do what it's going to do until one day maybe it strips those splines. All we want to do is prevent the nut from coming off and letting the fifth gear come out completely. So we got this little retainer. You get these on Amazon, and with that slid into place, I do not trust these little steel tangs, so I'm actually going to weld this to the nut, and that way these splines should prevent it from ever backing off again. I think this could have been much thicker steel. Those will probably shear off if anything, but I guess we'll find out. And there's what we ended up with, full weld around the entire circumference. Some guys weld the nut directly to the gear, but I don't like that either. See how it holds up over time. And back to present time, I got some new reverse lights for the Ram, because these are just some dull, regular bulbs. I think these will be nice. And also, I put the bumper lights in on this. There's a look at the dim ones, and there's a look at the upgrade. Nice and bright. Now, what I did with these bumper lights is just put them on a switch. So, because I figure when I need them, it's going to be when I'm hooking the trailer up or something. If I need to see reverse lights, these should do good. And then they're tied in with the power for the running lights. So if you forget to turn them off, or it'll still go off, or somebody can't just go up to your truck and turn that on. That was the easiest thing to do, and I think it makes sense for how much I'm actually going to need them. I mean, some guys put them on a switch in the cab, so if somebody's tailgating you, you could just blast them real quick. I've seen that, but that's a good way to get pulled over too. Well, all that, and I gotta say, I appreciate you guys very much for tuning into these random adventures. This one's kind of all over the place like usual. Definitely some more revival stuff coming in the near future. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. Again, thank you for the support, and we'll cap this one off with a little bit of footage from an airboat excursion. So, see you guys soon.